Hello friends and welcome to Parks Crafty Creations. I'm your host Brian Parks. Today I'm going to show you how to make your very own custom ironing board using just a few supplies from Home Depot and the fabric store. I love projects that I can use in what I do, and this one is no exception. This project is perfect if you want a bigger or better ironing surface for sewing, quilting, or crafting. Depending on the size of the board you want to make, this is also a great way to make a portable ironing surface that you can take with you without breaking the bank. Let's get started. Here's what you'll need. A wood board. I picked this one up at Home Depot. The overall size is up to you, but I would advise against anything less than half an inch thick. This would make the board flimsy and too thin to staple into the edges. Cotton quilt batting. 2 to 3 layers, depending on how cushy you want it. 100% cotton fabric. I'm using a lighter, more subdued pattern so I can use it to more easily display items for you on this channel, compared to the busier sewing pattern I currently have. A zipper. I find using one out of a roll and cutting it to length to be the most convenient option for this. And finally, a staple gun, which is of course in addition to your scissors, ruler, and some basic sewing tools. First, let's prep our board. You can make it any size you need it to be. I'm leaving mine at the size I bought it, which will cover most of my available workspace on my table, but you can make yours any size you like. Just make sure it's sanded smooth so you don't snag your fabric. Don't forget to get the sides, edges, and corners so you have no sharp edges. Next, we're going to wrap our cotton batting around our board. Make sure to start by stapling the start into the edge of the board. We'll then wrap the board at least twice to give a good barrier between the ironing surface and the board inside. It'll also give a nice, smooth padding for pressing seams and quilts. To keep the batting in place, I staple the sides as well. It's not pretty, but it works well. I promise you that. Our board is prepped and ready. Let's set it aside so we can start on the cover. Take your measurement of the board with the batting around it. Mine is 24 inches around, so I'm going to add an additional 3 inches to my measurement to make my fabric cut 27 inches square. This will give the board and batting just enough room to slip in and allow me enough seam allowance to do a French seam to fully encase the raw edges. I've tried this with 2 extra inches and found the fit to be too tight. We'll make 2 of these and set them aside. Next, let's work on our zipper. I like to use zippers sold by the roll so I can cut it to length. This one will need to be 27 inches. Now we'll need to add a finish to the ends, so we'll add tabs. Because my zipper is an inch wide, we'll double that to 2 inches and add another ½ inch for seam allowance to cut the piece of fabric 2.5 inches long and 1 inch wide. Now, with the fabric wrong side up, we'll fold it over 1/4 inch lengthwise and finger press. Then fold the pieces together and stitch the edge with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now slide the fabric over the end of the zipper to meet the edges and stitch the edge with 1/4 inch seam allowance. Finally, carefully roll the fabric up and off the zipper without unrolling the edge that we first finger pressed. I use a zipper foot to get close to the edge and stitch the tab closed. We'll do the same on the other end of the zipper too. Now to attach the zipper to the body of the cover. If you've never worked with a zipper before or have a hard time with them, I have a full video on how to sew a zipper, and I'll add a link to the description below and in the upper right hand corner of this video. I'm making this one a little different with the tabbed end so it's easy to grip and gives a little additional room for putting the board in and taking it out for cleaning. So we'll stitch the zipper in with one end hanging off the edge. We'll stop about 1 inch before the end to give room for the seam. For this project, we'll finish the edge with a French seam. Pin the edges of the fabric together, wrong sides facing each other so the good side is facing out, and stitch a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. Next, turn the casing inside out. I like to press my seam to make stitching the next part a little easier. Now stitch around again, enclosing the raw edge inside your new covering. On the tab inside, we'll hand stitch the last remaining bit closed. Finally, slip the batting covered board inside our new enclosure, and we're done. A brand new, custom ironing board made to fit our own personal workflow. Look at that, a custom ironing board that fits your space and style. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a like below, as it really does help out the channel. Do it now, please. And if you're new to our channel, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell icon so you'll always be notified whenever a new video drops. And hey, while you're at it, if you love what we do here, be sure to share us with your friends. Thanks for joining me. I'm Brian Parks for Parks Crafty Creations. We'll see you next time.